Hello everyone, and welcome back to another chatty, sassy video here on my channel where we talk about all things luxury, be it luxury fashion, luxury travel, or life's luxuries in general. Today is going to be no exception, as I'm talking about the 5 items whose prices make my blood boil. And several of these houses on this list are known for being more expensive, but I limited myself to only picking one item from each house, which item it is that just irritates me the most above all else. And so I hope you guys will enjoy this. If this is an item that you love and you would pay any price for it, that's totally up to you. This is just my opinions on what I don't think is worth it, whether it be luxury or not, but also looking at in terms of 2024 with what's going on in the world, but also what other items are actually out there. And so if you would like to hear alternatives to any of these items on this list, make sure to leave a comment down below and I will make those videos. Also, if you're interested in luxury videos, hit that subscribe button, go ahead, hit the like button if you enjoy this video. Those two things help my channel out a lot and they mean a lot to me, but they don't cost you any more than just one click with your thumb. So with that, let's get into the video. Now first up, I'm going to start with the house that I hate to use hate, because hate's a very strong word, but I kind of sort of hate this house. They rub me the wrong way in so many different ways, and that is going to be from Chanel. Now there are a lot of ridiculously priced items at Chanel. Their ready-to-wear is ridiculously priced. Their shoes are ridiculously priced. Their classic flaps are ridiculously priced. But you sort of swallow that pill when you come to Chanel. The one item that out of all of the different items from Chanel that like you can put aside the fact it's Chanel, you can put aside the fact that it's a classic, but this item, the price that they are charging for it compared to everybody else is the Chanel wallet on chain. It is $3,350 for a wallet on chain. It's not a full bag. You can carry your cards, your phone, your keys. Maybe if you're lucky and your keys don't take up much room, you might be able to get like a lipstick in there. Or maybe if you have like an extremely flat pair of sunglasses and you plan to have your phone in your hand, you can put your sunglasses in there. But like these bags, they don't hold a lot because they aren't true bags. They are wallets on chain. And it's $3,350 in the US plus tax, because we don't have tax in our prices in the US. So like if I were to buy it from my store in Nashville, it would be nearly $3,700 with tax. It'd be like $3,676 and some odd cents, if my math is correct on what I think our actual tax percentage is. But that's absurd! That is so completely and totally absurd given all the things that you were able to buy at other brands for that price. I know that some people really say that you can probably see my dog's nose in here. She says, "Give me attention, Mom, give me attention." So I'm going to be scratching her while I'm talking. But, I mean, like, I know that people say, like, the Chanel one is the best. And I get that. And it's very pretty. It does get you a Chanel CC. The caviar is very durable, but they don't really do the caviar a lot in new ones anymore. So you've got that going against it. You've got the fact that, to me, Chanel has almost become a parody of itself. And so, to me, having a Chanel CC doesn't, like, scream class at all. In a way that it used to back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s. So, to me, I'm not saying that it's not classy, but it's not, in my mind, the same way that I used to perceive it. You've also got the fact that there's so many other brands that you can buy a full leather, like, good medium-sized handbag from. You could buy a couple of small handbags. You could buy several pairs of shoes. You could buy really nice ready-to-wear for the same price as a wallet on chain. And there are so many other wallets on chains that are honestly pretty similar and pretty nice. That I think that there are a lot better options out there for the money that will be a lot cheaper. And I don't think the Chanel is worth it anymore because I think that they have devalued themselves as a brand. I'm sort of salty towards Chanel because I don't like their price increases. I don't like the way that I've been treated when I've gone into their stores. I am not inspired by anything that comes down their runway. like the last runway that came down for spring, summer in Paris Fashion Week. I didn't like that because I felt that they were harping on a bit of nerd culture, and as someone who is a nerd, I wasn't thrilled with that. But I just don't like Chanel. So like, I'm not going to love anything from Chanel, but when I look at that price of the wallet on chain, that just makes me mad. Now, moving on to one that doesn't make me mad, it just makes me disappointed because I probably would own more of them if they weren't so expensive. And that is going to be the Hermes Kelly belt. Now, I have an Hermes Kelly belt in the brown color. I got it a couple of years ago. I want to say it was like $725 at the time that my husband got it. And I love that belt. And for $725, so worth it. Fantastic belt. I'd recommend it to anyone. It's no longer that price. It's now $1,025 plus tax in the US. Plus tax in the US. And like, I love my Kelly belt. And it's adjustable and I can wear it with any pair of pants, with any dress, with any skirt. But I don't know if I could bring myself to pay over $1,000 for a belt anymore. And I love my Kelly belt and it is fantastic. And like I said, I own one. But if something were to happen to that belt, I don't know if I could swallow the price of buying it again. I really don't. And that's from someone who all summer long, that is like my number one go-to belt and fashion accessory. And so the fact that I'm saying that one of the like number one things that I go to, I might not buy again because it's that expensive, should be saying a lot. Because I'm someone who loves this product and I'm even thinking like, I'm not sure I'd replace it. Now this third item, really the entire category is ridiculously priced, and that's going to be luxury hair accessories. And this particular item, as I was scrolling through, just looking at various prices, sort of floored me. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought that I had to be looking at the wrong price, that there was no way that this was accurate, that I was just seeing the numbers wrong, that I was suddenly dyslexic, and I was not. Because I am talking about the embellished brass hair clips from Prada. They are these teeny tiny little brass, so they're going to turn, hair clips. They have a little Prada triangle and a couple of tiny little sequins stuck onto the barrettes that, like, if you're someone who uses barrettes, like, these sequins are going to come off at some point when you are putting them in your hair if you are using them together. And they are $825 for two tiny little barrettes that probably cost them $1 to make. Like, they're going to turn. There's no way that these sparkles are going to stay on. They are going to come off. And they're $825. Plus tax. I know that I keep saying plus tax. I'm a tax accountant, so that's always where my brain is going, particularly now that I'm in January and I have entered my tax season. But with tax, these things are like $900. That's $450 a barrette that's gonna turn and have the sequins fall off. I mean, I just don't understand why anyone would pay this. It's not classy. Like, it looks like something you would pick up at Claire's for like $5. I just don't understand where this price point came from. I don't understand who would ever pay this for these. It's just, I was shocked. Because like I said, these look like they cost $5 and came from Claire's. Now, this next one, I don't have a problem with the pricing of two of the sizes. Two of the sizes, I think, for what they are and for the brand, is fairly priced. But two of the other sizes, this is where I take issue. And I'm talking about the Bottega Veneta Andiamo bag. Now, I think that this bag is beautiful, and in the small and the medium sizes, I really particularly like it. But in the small East-West, that is smaller than the small, cost more than the small at $4,500. That, like, the fact that it is a smaller version of the bag, it literally requires less material and less work, and they're charging more, shocks me. I'm not sure who came up with that pricing. Like, even if they'd made it the same price as the small, I would be okay with it. But the fact that it's, like, half the bag and a few $100s more for a shorter version of the bag, I just find to be ridiculous and I feel insulted by. But then you get to the large size. And like the medium size I think is like 4,800, 4,900, something along that. But you jump up to the large. The large is $7,900 plus tax. The large is $7,900 plus tax. It's like 2 of the mediums. Well, that math isn't quite right, but like, that's a lot. That's a very, very large jump, particularly when I look at brands like Dior, which don't get me wrong, Dior's expensive. But like, I look at brands like Dior and like, normally when they go up in a size, it goes up like a few $100s, no matter what item it is. And like, I'm okay with that price increase. Same thing with Hermes, when you're looking at Birkins and Kellys and going up in those sizes. It's normally like a few, several $100s difference between the sizes. But it's not $3,000 difference between the sizes. Between a medium size and a large size. That's a whole other bag. And like, I get that you're getting a lot of volume with this bag. But like, even just looking at it, not in relation to the other sizes, even just looking at it on its own, as a $7,900 plus tax bag, that's ridiculous. Like, it's not worth that. It's a beautiful bag, but like, it's a trendy bag that got trendy because of celebrities. I'm not sure that's necessarily going to be a bag that sticks around for forever for the house, the way that they do change out their styles. So you've got that sort of working against it in a price point. The fact that it is a newer bag at that price point, I think, is what really, that's another thing that just sort of shocks me, that like, that's the price point that they put the large at. I could have understood $5,900, maybe even $6,900, but you get up to $7,900. I could do a lot with that money. I could buy a lot of very, very, very nice things with that money. I could buy a lot of things I'm going to use the rest of my life with that money. For that money, you better be using this bag the rest of your life, but it's also a bag that you can't use every day. It's a bag that is so big that you can only use it for certain things at certain times. It's also a very open bag, so it's not necessarily the most secure thing in the world if you're wanting to use it, like to carry documents, to carry as a tote bag with your stuff in it. I'm just not quite sure where that price came from, and I would love to hear the thoughts from Bottega on that, because I just don't see in any way, shape, form, or fashion how this is worth it. And it just boggles my mind with all the different options that you have out there for luxury totes, that this is the price that they put it at. Now, the final item on my 5 items that are no longer worth it is one that's going to be highly controversial to a lot of people, because a lot of YouTubers say that this is one of the items that you should definitely have in your collection, and I say maybe, but never at this price, and that is going to be the Louis Vuitton Mini Pochette. Now, the Mini Pochette is something that does not have a direct comparison, really, in any other luxury house of its size, because it is not a toiletry pouch. It doesn't look like a toiletry pouch. It has more or less a rectangle, but it's a wide rectangle, but it's not something that like has any type of real huge tapering to it the way that toiletry pouches do. So it's interesting. But it's not $745 plus tax. Interesting in my opinion. And here is why I think that. For me, I'm someone who I carry smaller bags, so a mini pochette would take up too much room. It's not that I carry mini bags, but I carry smaller bags generally. Even if I'm carrying my medium-sized bags, most of my items are organized into various small leather goods already, and so while I could put a couple of small leather goods in there, I wouldn't want to, because I wouldn't want to have to pull out a small leather good to pull out a small leather good. When it comes to things like makeup, I generally speaking don't carry any makeup at all with me, but if I were, I would want to have either something that was much smaller than that, or something that was an actual cosmetic pouch that would have a wipeable interior on the inside and not a fabric interior. You then get on to things like maybe putting writing utensils in there. Well, I don't really carry anything but one pen, and I put it in a small pocket in my bag so that it's easily accessible. You then have uses like cords or AirPods maybe, and I understand that, but whenever I'm going to be bringing a charging cord with me, I'm generally going to be bringing it in a tech pouch where I keep all that stuff together already, but it also stays very wound up and organized and concise. And so for me, that is a much better use than getting something like a mini pochette. The other thing that to me really makes the mini pochette not worth it is that some people talk about using it as a mini bag. That's all fine and good. Phone doesn't fit in it. My phone has to fit in whatever it is that I'm using. I do have one mini bag from Strathberry where I do have to take the case off for my phone to fit, but my phone does actually fit. And it wouldn't fit in a mini pochette. And therefore, a mini pochette does not fit with me at the price of $745. Now, there was a time a few years ago when I remember it being at $425, and I was like, yes, to me, at $425, it's worth it. It got up to $500, and I said, nope, that's it for me. $500, I could get other things. I could get regular clothing, regular shoes. I could use it to buy a plane ticket somewhere. And so for me, $500 was not in any way worth it to get a very small pouch that, while a versatile pouch, is still just a pouch. Now feel free to disagree in the comments about this or anything else that I put on this list with me down below. I would love to have a discussion on it. I'd also love to hear if you think that one of these items is actually worth it, what item you would put on in its place. And I look forward to doing more videos, not talking about things that aren't worth it, but talking about the things that are worth it from each brand. So make sure to be subscribed for that content coming up this year. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, everyone. Bye!